You know, I get tired as I travel around the world of hearing people create a sense of hostility, a sense of deficit. I often hear people talk about what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. I hear people battling each other. I'm right, you're wrong, and it's a win-lose. You know what? That doesn't help anybody win. In a win-lose world, we all lose. We think the purpose of this book, The Why of Work, is to create abundance, to shift our thinking from what's wrong and the deficit world in which we inevitably live to what's right and what we can become.
When we watch the show about the boss going undercover, we feel an emotional response to that as he comes to appreciate his employees and as his employees come to appreciate what he's doing for them. So far it's been he's, at least on the show that we've watched. But great leaders have the ability to bring a sense of passion and work, to be the meaning makers who shape the vision. They also do this through very individual, small details of how they interact with people on a daily basis, letting them know that they're appreciated. And the nice thing about this reminder is that it's not just the great leader who makes meaning happen at work. It's the individual employee who, by pulling these ideas into their life, asking themselves these questions, the employees can begin to take responsibility for their own sense of meaning and contributing to the company in a way that also contributes to the bottom line.
There are, we think, many implications of this work. If you're on a board of directors and overseeing a company, public, private, large, small, domestic in North America, global in Asia, in Europe, your job is not just to monitor the economic success. Economic success is not enough. It is not sustainable. A sustainable organization must have a heart and a soul, and there has to be an emotional success and a sense of meaning. Boards of directors are charged to do that. CEOs, your charge is to be the leader as a meaning maker, to set a tone by example, by word, and by deed of how you begin to build meaning inside your company. Human resource professionals, you have a unique and privileged opportunity. In the human resource field, a decade ago, it was around competence, right skills, right place, right job. In the last decade, it was around commitment, show up, be engaged. In this decade, it's around meaning and purpose. It is not enough in human resources to build staffing, training, compensation systems that ensure competence or commitment. They need to be focused on meaning and purpose. And for the individual employee, you ultimately are accountable for meaning at work. For the new employees entering the workforce with great social responsibility, at Harvard in June of 2009, 40% of the graduates of the MBA program signed a petition, "Do no harm to the world." A year later, that will be 70%. 2 years, it will be 80%, and probably 40% will believe it. But there is a new generation of employees who want meaning and purpose in the work that they do. By the way, for those of us who are the older generation, we need to retire retirement. Retirement without meaning is not retirement. It's a deficit, and it's a dearth of life. Our job is to create meaning. When organizations at the top, at the middle, and through their systems build meaning at work, we create a society, which is one we want our granddaughter to grow up in, where people find a focus on what's right, not what's wrong, where people can affirm each other and do things that help build the dignity of the human individual, and so that the individual's success is connected to the institution in which they work.
People who have a why to work for can work with almost any how. To paraphrase Viktor Frankl's statement about living in a concentration camp, we hope our workplaces are not concentration camps, but the principle applies. If we have a why to work for, we can work with any how.